Big boy in the morning. It is going down. We got Dr. Dre up in here, man.
Yeah.
Dr. Dre, what do you remember the most about the Chronic? Now, the Chronic, we say classic, and that's not a name that a title you just throw away. That is a classic album, and I think
appreciate
everybody
that.
in this room owned more than one copy of the Chronic. Either it was on album, it was on cassette, it was on CD. Your homie stole it out your car for whatever reason.
Well, you know what? That particular record, man. That's like I would say the toughest record that I recorded in my career because it was right after my separation with Ruthless, and I was in survival mode. And going from that to the organization that I went to, and all the things that were happening in the studio during the making, it was crazy. During that process, my house burned down.
Damn.
I was shot in the legs, you know what I mean?
Damn.
And I was in the studio on crutches for a couple of weeks, So it was a lot that went into that record. It was blood, sweat, and beers that went into it, you know what I mean? And so that's one of those records that I don't even listen to anymore.
Really?
Yeah. I haven't.
Is it emotional? Do you listen? Like, why not?
I just don't really like being taken back to that era.
I hear you.
You know what I mean?
I hear you. What was it like, Dre, when you first knew of the guy that we know as Snoop Dogg? Like what brought you to Snoop?
It was incredible. It was incredible. My baby bro Warren G.
Yes, sir.
He actually brought me a cassette tape, and we were at a bachelor party, and I popped it in and listened to it. Like, whoa, I need to meet him. And what it was the way he said his words and his voice. I really like working with artists that have interesting voices. If you notice, most of the artists I've worked with, you'll know their voice as soon as you hear them.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So that was one of the things that really turned me on.
Man, and with Snoop, when you guys get into the studio, did you know that did it feel like you were making history, or did it feel like you were just making a record at the time?
It just felt like we were making something exceptional.
Really though?
Yeah.
Man, and the vibe in the studio, as far as, how the Chronic is one of those albums that it had to be a moment in time.
Yeah.
Then when you fast forward, you don't try to recreate the
can't.
Chronic, but now you got something that we put so high on a pedestal.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And you can't go back to that same feeling in your stomach, the same feeling in your head, the bullet in your leg. You know what I'm saying?
It was just a moment. You know what I mean? Like most of these records that I've made are just for that moment. N.W.A. records, they're just for that moment. So, and that's how I treat it. I never go back and listen to the records. I've never listened to any of my records. Once they come out, it's business.
Really though?
Yeah.
So when you even got to perform, do you have to go back and listen to it and I
have to go back and definitely have to go back and listen and learn the lyrics again and what have you. So, it's a process.
What did you hear in Eminem that made Dr. Dre, who we know from N.W.A., Dr. Dre we know from Compton, you know what I'm saying? Dr. Dre that we know from the Chronic. What made you hear something in Eminem where you say, man, it's this Caucasian rapper out of Detroit?
Well, first of all, I didn't know he was Caucasian when I heard it. You know what I'm saying? When I heard it the first time, I just love the delivery. I love his concepts and what he was talking about because it was just crazy. You know what I mean? I found out a couple of days later that he was a white cat. You know what I mean?
Right.
So then I'm like, wow, I got to meet him. I got to meet him. This is amazing. And everybody around me at that time was trying to talk me out of working with him. You know what I mean? Every single person around me was like, "Listen, man, this is a white boy. You're getting ready to ruin your career right when we get the label started because that was at the beginning of Aftermath. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I just had to go with my gut.
Man.
I'm like, he's that hot. People are gonna get into it because it's that good.
Did you have people that came up to you after they saw it that was drinking the Kool-Aid now like, oh man, yeah.
Yeah, I knew it was gonna work, man. I was just playing. I knew it was gonna work.
To see if you were committed, Dre. I just want to see if you were committed. It worked out for you. Now, is it true, man, that you guys recorded "My Name Is"? Was that y'all first kind of studio session together?
That was the first 10 mintes.
Good Lord, have mercy.
Yeah, I had this sample ready because I thought it was something that he would sound good on. I pushed the sample, I pushed the play on the drum machine, and he just immediately started with the "Hi, my name is," that whole thing, and bam, that was it. And we recorded 4 songs that first night, and 3 of them went on his first album.
Man, were you ever concerned about Eminem's lyrics back in the days? Were you like, Or you just let him be the artist?
He made my eyebrows go up a couple of times. You know
Mine too, and I wasn't even next to y'all. I'm like, man, you sure you want to say this?
What did you say about your mother, man?
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah, like, man, your mom may hear this record, Eminem.
Right.
You know, what's your relationship like now? You and Eminem?
We're the best of friends, man.
That's dope.
Yeah,
man.
absolutely.
That's dope. And you get a chance to see someone grow as a person also.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And that's got to be great when you see trials and tribulations. You know what I'm saying? And then with somebody like, okay, I think he's in a good place. Is Eminem in a good place right now?
He's happy. He's happy. Oh, man, I was getting ready to say he's happy as shit right now.
Bro, he is happy as shit. But you know what?
You can beat that?
Yeah,
Okay.
he should be happy as shit. You know what I'm saying?
He's happy.
I heard that Dr. Dre forgot about Dre.
Yeah.
Now, what was this a statement record for you?
Not really, you know what I mean? It became that, you know. This was a record. This is actually one of the few times where the lyrics were written before the track. So we had to, Eminem actually wrote that. He came in and was like, I got this song I wrote for you. So we had the problem of trying to figure out what the track was going to be to the lyrics. And it was a little bit difficult because I'm not doing it that way. But we made it happen.
Man, now with the actual record that we did get a chance to hear. You know what I'm saying? When we think about Forgot About Dre, that's one of those records everybody try to rap. You know what I'm saying? Everybody got a part that they slaughter.
Okay.
You know? But also, man, when you say give me one more platinum plaque, fuck rap, you can have it back, you still went and got other platinum plaques. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, you know, come on, Big. You put me on the spot with that one. Stop playing.
Right. Dr. Dre, I remember years ago, I had a billboard up. And you asked me, you pulled me to the side. We were at Exhibit's video shoot.
Oh, you bringing this up.
Yeah.
Okay, come on, let's go.
And he was like, he said, hey, Big, he said, how did they do that billboard, man? I'm like, which one? He's like, the splits. How did they do like your legs and put your head on that body? And I was like, Dre, I said, that was me. And he was like, no, man, get the F out of here. Get the F out of here. You know what I'm saying? And so it was Philip Atwell and you.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, so Fuzzy comes in and, you know, I'm going to tell you the trickery now. Fuzz is like, man, that's not him, but that's his part. You know what I'm saying?
Hustled me, man.
Yeah,
that was his part.
Yeah, that was his
How
part.
much did y'all get from me that day, man?
I got $5,000 from you that
Look
day.
at this, man.
Yeah. But let me tell you, now we go to the Farm Club?
Oh, man.
With Jimmy Iovine?
Yeah.
So that was the same day. We go from there, we go to the Farm Club, right? And I'm talking, Snoop is on, and he's sound checking. And just off mic, you hear Snoop is like, hey, cuz, how do you do that billboard for you? And I was like, man, I said, no, Snoop, that's me. Oh, cuz, that's not you. And so we start the same thing on Snoop. A few hours later.
I couldn't let that happen, man.
You remember you weren't even on stage. You must have been somewhere with hot ears or something. You was like, hey, Snoop, fuck them niggas, man. Don't let them do that to you. Them got me this morning. Fuck them. I'm like, man. You know, like, he was like, hey, man, it's a setup. It's a setup. Don't fall for it. You know what I'm saying? Dr. Dre now, Kendrick Lamar.
Yeah.
I remember at one point, man, we had got into, we were on air, and I remember you called us up. And we were like, hey, I'm looking forward to this guy, Kendrick Lamar. That was the first time I heard Kendrick Lamar, like, name as far as coming out your mouth. What brought you to Kendrick Lamar? What did you hear where you was like, man, I hear it in this guy also?
You know, believe it or not, Paul Rosenberg, Eminem's manager, is the one that put me on. I was in Detroit, and he's like, you got to hear this kid from Compton. So I went online, and the thing that really turned me on at the beginning was the way he spoke during the interview. It wasn't even the music at first. It was just the way he spoke and the way he showed his passion for music. You know what I mean? It was something in that. And then I got into the music and really realized how talented he was, you know?
You know what I love about it also, Dre, is that you'll give cats just enough, and then their talent has to
get
them. Like,
really,
you don't have to be on every record. You don't have to, you know what I'm saying?
Nah.
And I mean, that's from everyone. You know, we could sit here and go through a whole catalog of names of people that you just kind of set up, like the Kendricks, the 50s, the Snoops, the Games, so and you set them up, and it's like, okay, well, I gave this to you. We created this together. Now it's your turn.
Yeah, I love working on that first album. You know what I'm saying? That's my thing. And then
the
it's up to
second album
you.
worse? You're like, I don't want to work on the second album.
You know, it's just like a little bit of the fantasy is gone when you start working on the second one.
Right, and that first album is like that new energy also.
Yeah, it's a blank canvas. You know what I mean?
Now, are you working with Game on the documentary too?
I believe so.
Mm-hmm.
We've talked about it, you know. That's like my baby bro. So it's like, you know, if he calls me for something, I'm in.
All right, well, cool, man. I'm writing my lyrics too.
Yeah,
so I'm
man,
gonna call
get
you.
it, big.
I want you to get in. You know what I'm saying? Dre, how do you tell somebody no? You know what I'm saying? Like, I guess you just say no.
Yeah, basically.
Right.
Yeah, I have no problem saying no.
Yeah. Man, because everybody would always say, oh, man, I need a Dre beat. I need a Dre beat. And you're probably like, well, you're not going to get that.
You know, I don't put it like that. It's
Okay, I
just-
would have said it like that then.
Okay.
All right, yeah. I'll be on the phone like, man, Dre said you ain't getting this. All right, California Love.
Okay.
Now, California Love, man, first off, that is an anthem. And it's crazy because it's one of those records where not does it just represent California in California. I've been all over the world, Dre, and there's people that gravitate towards that record like they're from California. You know,
Yeah.
and that's a record when I get on stage in Japan, wherever, that's an anthem for us.
Yeah, I mean, you know, that was also a fun record coming together. It was actually that was the first song that I was starting on for my follow-up album to the Chronic.
Was this your record?
Yes, it was. It was my record. And because Pac was finishing his record at the time, what I decided to do was take my second verse off and add him on.
So you already had now let me welcome everybody to the Wild Wild West. You was already straight?
Yeah,
And then Pac said, let me have this?
Yeah.
How was it working with Pac, man? Because you would hear like, oh, okay, Pac could come in and record X amount of songs in one night.
No, that's very true. What he would do is he would just come in and go in the mic booth and just sit in the mic booth and you just put up a track, he rap through it, put up another one. Then he'll maybe do like 3 or 4 songs before he comes out of the booth. Come out, rest for a while, and go back in and do it again.
Man, so you when we think about California Love, you think about, of course, Dr. Dre. You think about Tupac. You think about Roger Troutman, man, all on one record together.
Yeah.
How magical did that moment feel, or when you look at it in hindsight, like how magical is that record too?
I mean, it was incredible. I mean, Roger, we actually recorded that in the same room where we did G-Thing at my house. And I just remember him performing it like he was performing in front of 10,000 people in the mic booth. His hand was up and he was in it, you know. And he just did 3 tracks throughout the entire song, and that was it.
Dr. Dre, we're going to go ahead. Let's get into, let me see here. What's My Name?
Okay.
Now, What's My Name is one of those records, man. This reminds me of years ago. I had a green Cadillac with a white Phantom top. I didn't have insurance on it, and my license wasn't as straight as it should have been. You know what I'm saying? But that's an anthem for me. And we already knew, like, Snoop, you know, the deep cover things. We already had this introduction to Snoop. But was that a record you purposely put together as another, like, a real introduction to the world? Like, we'd never forget that name.
Well, no, it wasn't an introduction. It was just another song that we did. It just turned into that. You know what I'm saying? We just did it. It was just another song that we were doing for the album, you know?
Damn.
And it just kind of felt like his opening, you know?
Man, and that's one of those records, man, like, I got in my mind, I know exactly where I was at. I know exactly that time period. You know what I'm saying? I know what the video looked like. You know, I know what my life was about at that moment.
Right.
And that's what songs are, man. It like soundtracks to certain parts of your life.
Yeah,
And
it's
this
crazy.
one right here, man, Snoop, this is my favorite record from Snoop,
That's
man.
what's
So
up.
Kendrick Lamar, hell of a run. You
Yeah,
know what I'm
man.
saying? And it looked like the dude is just about to start running again. We see the Pimp a Butterfly.
Man, isn't
here.
that album incredible?
Yeah, man.
He
Fire.
put together an amazing album, man.
You know what it is also, Dre? Kendrick got you back to listening to albums.
Yeah.
Listening to cut. Like, what is he going to say next? You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
the whole ratchet thing, I think it was fun,
Yeah.
but it just didn't have the substance that I appreciate in music. You know, if you hear it at a club or something, you appreciate it because it's fun, it's loud, and what have you. But as far as the substance in hip hop, Kendrick is bringing us back to that.
Did you get a chance to hear a lot of To Pimp a Butterfly before we had a chance to hear?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did. I went over to the studio and he played me a lot of the album, and I'm just like, wow, this is incredible.
Man,
It's incredible.
so you still impressed. You're like, man, like this is it. And I'm
Right.
pretty sure that means something to someone.
Yeah, not only am I impressed, it's like making me want to go back and get on my grizzle. You know what
Really
I mean?
though,
I got to
man.
get back in the studio myself.
Man, do you feel like, Dre, like, man, you've done so much musically that, not that you want to tap out, you know what I'm saying? But do you feel, that's just like a boxer. Boxer want to get back in. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? Which is a bad reference. But because you're still hot.
No, you know what it is, Big? It's like a drug for me. You know what I mean? I don't feel like I've made my best record yet.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
Right.
I'm chasing that.
Now, how many songs do you think you recorded?
Ooh.
Do you erase still? Like, man, like,
Every now and then I erase, but I have no idea how many
Because you're
songs I
always
recorded.
in the studio.
Yeah, yeah.
But-
You know,
and-
I don't know how many I recorded this week.
Really though. And so what do you do? Do those go around to like I don't know what the relationship with like a 50 Cent or whatever. Do you start to say either these are mine or when you come off of them, do you say like
Occasionally I go back and listen and put some to the side, make a playlist of things that I've done in the past that may work for a present artist, you know.
Right. How's your relationship with 50 Cent?
It's good.
How
We're
was
good.
In the club, man? Did you know that's one of those records again, man, where it's like, damn, like this is a perfect record. And when you said voices and everything, even with 50 Cent, you know, the way they hear it sound, with the bullet in the face, you know what I'm saying? Like, did you know when, first off, what was the relationship with 50? How did you grab 50 Cent?
You know what? Eminem.
Damn.
He introduced me to 50, and 50 was incredible when we went in the studio together for the first time. I mean, you know, we decided that I was going to do half of the first album and Eminem would do the other half.
Damn.
And my experience working with 50, it was only about 7 days in the studio. I spent 7, maybe no more than 9 days, I'm not sure, for my entire half. You know what I mean?
Damn.
I would put up a track, he would write it, spit it, and go, yo, put up another one, put up another one, put up another one. And that was it.
And you see that and you're like, man, do you feel at that moment like, yeah, he got it?
Yeah,
this
absolutely.
Dude, yeah, he gonna be all right.
And it was really creative. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
And you know the song In the Club, I knew it was good. I didn't know it was gonna be that big. You know.
Is there any time, and we're gonna get into In the Club, but is there any time there's a record where you just knew, like you get a feeling, but did you just like, is there a record where you knew?
Yeah, there's been some of those records. You know what I mean? But I don't remember all of them offhand, but you know.
And you shouldn't. You got too many damn hits. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? He'll be in the car like, damn, I wish you would have said such and such. Turn back around. Let's go see Big Boy. Dr. Dre, definitely want to thank you for coming through and
Thanks
hanging
for
out
having
with us,
me, man. And congratulations again,
hey,
man.
man, it is a true pleasure to have you in here. And thank you, man, for coming to my new home.
There you go.
You know what I'm saying?
It's looking hot up here, man.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I did the whole decorations myself. You know what I'm saying? Best believe that, man. We got to add you to the wall also,
Yeah,
man. We got to take a new flick today. Well, you know, let's not take it today, man. I'm working out with my trainer, man. Give me 6 weeks.
6 weeks?
Yeah, give me 6 weeks, man.
Okay.
Give me 6 weeks, and then we'll come back in and we'll do the interview again and have you come in. You know what I'm saying? Just make sure I get him back in here. No, but Drake, you know what, man? On the real, man, I know you don't. You know, you can pick and choose to be anywhere. You know what I'm saying? And I truly thank you, man. We had a chance to talk on the phone. You was like, Big, I'm coming to see you.
Yeah.
And you are here.
Had to do that.
Man, I thank you, my brother. The
Appreciate
one and
you having
only
me.
Dr. Dre up in here, man. Big boy.